Good evening, everybody, and this is Miracle Farm, and I wanted to give you a little tutorial here on, or not a tutorial, I've already done it, but when you have a farm, you got to find all different kind of crazy ways to wrap up farm implements and things. So I just wanted to show you the expert way of doing it. There's no way that you can tell that this is a mutt fork, and but I wanted to show you, give you some ideas on how you can disguise these things and make it look. There's no way nobody could guess what this is. This is Christmas morning, and I just wanted to show you another fine example of disguise wrapping when you are doing farm stuff. So you would never ever guess what that is in this package. There's just no way. It's totally disguised. And this one's even better. I mean, there's no way. No way you could tell what this is. No way. It's just perfectly wrapped. Let me get you another view on the other side here. Look at that. Look at that. Totally disguised. Totally disguised. It just looks like a world of candy canes. It's just wonderful. So you have to have a special touch like this if you're a farm person to be able to disguise these gifts so they won't know what they are. Yes, this is for you. Another great example of farmer wrapping. You can't tell what it is, can you?
It looks like a tent.
A tent. It does look like a tent. Unwrap it.
I'm gonna take off my layer.
Sleeping bag.
Oh!
And the one that you saw last night, you would have never guessed it was this. Would you? There's no way. It was perfectly disguised. But look at there. So this is the second part of our little video, and I want to start getting into a little bit of more about frugality and just the way we live. I had some visitors yesterday, and all well educated, and they were just kind of wondering how on our income could we have, we think is a very beautiful farm. So I will be giving you lots of tips and tricks on different things that we do. I never followed the Dave Ramsey, but because my mom was so frugal, all her ideas and things that I saw other people go through just fits right into that. So he's just packaged it well. And it was just something my mom taught me when I was a little girl, and I taught my husband. And that's why I believe that we have this beautiful farmhouse. So one of the things that I wanted to, our little wrapping and stuff, we thought was funny. And we do that to each other and try to enjoy the whole season of Jesus' birthday. And we're still celebrating here. And I hope you are. And don't just put it down on one little day. And so I'm going to show you a few little things of maybe how to give gifts in a more frugal way. And tell you the difference between being a cheapskate or cheapo or whatever you want to call it, and frugal. Because people that are cheap, they don't want to spend money on anything. And people that are frugal look for value in things. So when I go out and buy something, which is not very often, I'm going to buy something with value. And so I'll show you some of that right here. And the other thing that the difference is between somebody that's cheap and somebody that's frugal, people that are cheap, even if they need something, they won't buy it. They're just cheapos. They'll go do without, I guess. But people that are frugal will save up. If there's something here on this table that I had to save up for to get because it was a needed item. And the other thing is that people that are cheap seem stingy, and there's a way to give to people that doesn't cost a lot. It may cost your time. It doesn't cost money, it costs time. I gave a family some of my homemade bread yesterday, and they were thrilled to death to have little loaves of homemade bread, and because they can't make homemade bread. So that was very, maybe 50 cents a loaf, maybe, my time. So it was something thrilled to death, and it wasn't anything that I could go buy in the store. It was an original thing. So those are, I'm going to start doing more of the frugal stuff, and those are a few of the little differences, because I don't want you to seem cheap. And I don't mean to seem cheap, even if I am. I'm just frugal, and there is a difference. It's not that there's sometimes you can't give, and that's okay. And but you can give your love. You can always give your prayers, most importantly, and you can give your friendship and fellowship and real important stuff like that, which are way more important than anything that you can buy at the store. So we had a little funny thing going on at the first about the wrapping and stuff, and I wanted to show you this. I don't think I'm going to be able to unwrap him all right now, because my daughter, she is an expert wrapper, and I may unwrap this and then show you what it is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all this stuff off. There's a ton of tape on this little guy. But I will tell you what happened while I am unwrapping before it gets too long. And a whole line of things out in my garden died last spring. And 3 rows of tomatoes, and this bush just happened to be in line with those tomatoes. So I'm thinking some kind of herbicide, something. Look, you could tell by the leaves they were all shriveled up. But this is just one. Everybody thinks spring, and that's not true. One of the best times of the year is when it's nice and wet out there, is to plant your trees and bushes. And one of the main bushes that I grow, besides blueberries, is my elderberry plant. And we got a really good friend that has a nursery called Campbell's Family Nursery, and I'll leave his information down below this video. And that's what, of course you could see this was a plant the whole time. You know, I'm not saying you didn't know what it was. But here's our little elderberry plant, and her name is Anna. I actually remembered for once to put the names down on the in my book, in my farming book, and when this one died, I told my husband months ago that I need to go by this nursery and get one of these plants, and I just didn't have the money at the time. This is what I'm talking about. This is a frugal gift. This is a gift that was needed. This is a gift that is loved. We raised our children not just giving them all their wants and all the toys, and they very seldom got toys at Christmas. That is something that's such a waste of money. It's either going to steal their time, they're going to sit in front of it all the time, or they're not going to play with it for very long, and it's going to be broken. And I'm not saying don't give your kids toys. That's not what I mean at all. I'm saying that find what they're interested in, not just a toy. That they can grow in their interest, and this is one of my interests, is learning about and growing elderberries. And not only did they give me Anna back, he had a new, I was really shocked because he had a new type that I get to grow too. So we've got to find a place for her. I'm sure it's a girl. So that's one thing. Frugal, needed, but here's the frugal thing that I had to save up for. And it's a Craftsman grinder. Value. That's the thing I'm talking about, is value. We have started 3 or 4 years ago using more battery powered thing, because with my husband's business, he's a tractor mechanic. He goes out on the road, and because he's out on the road, he doesn't have electricity. And we just found that the Craftsman batteries and tools last a little longer than some of the others. We tried the others just to see which one was the best, and for what we were trying, these were the best. So, and the thing is, all the batteries are interchangeable. So the batteries that work for on a saw or a power wrench or whatever will work on this too. So it's a double value. But this is definitely something I've been saving up for. I heard a little birdie tell me that yeah, he's been looking at them. He's been looking. You know, he's not going to go in there and spend this much money for himself. So I made sure that I had enough saved up, a little bit at a time, and got him this grinder. And I work a lot for my daughter, and she knows that she owed me some gloves. I worked in so much weeds and briars that I got, it tore my gloves all to pieces. Even though they were good gloves, after a year they were tore to pieces. But I want you to look at have you ever seen just white gloves? I'm going to be out there in the woods, and you're going to be able to see me because I'm going to have all these white gloves. And I said, the first time I go out, the inside of these gloves are going to be black, and the outside's still going to be white. But, and they're insulated, and they're wonderful, and we start fencing this week. These are really white, but I love them. And my son is starting to work on his new car. And my husband ordered all the parts that he needs to get started on his car. That's all he got, except for a couple items of clothing, was something to work on his car. And he's thrilled. And my poor daughter had to wrap it all, and it's all heavy. And but she loves to wrap, so that was wonderful. And getting back to her, I am going to add a little piece of video that was from last week's video about one of the gifts that she got, because it has to do with wrapping. But I'm also going to stick a little picture in here about last Christmas and what we got her, because it's a little funny picture. But how excited the kids are with things, getting things that they need. Now, yeah, my kids are older, but this has been going on forever. It's always been something they needed. And this year, I got her a little personal gift. and this is from Vistaprint, and they had a sale, so I jumped on that sale, and I'd never ever order things, but she has been had her little cattle company now for 3 years, and we were forgetting about all the hard work and things that she went through, and so they just put together a this is a personal gift, and instead of getting her a book about learning how to do cows, I got her all her history. This is the first 3 years of her graduating college and going into raising her cows, and wasn't real expensive, and but it was personal. That's what made it so special. So that's where you can really, that's the difference between cheap and frugal. Is frugal, we're looking for the value in things. We're looking for the personal touches. I heard about this grinder months and months ago, and I knew my husband needed a grinder. So I also knew they were expensive, and I had my son tell me, okay, how much are one of them things? Waited for the sales, got the grinders. My daughter knew I needed these gloves, and I am so thankful for these gloves. I need them next week. Next week I'm going to be back in the briars, and I'm also going to stick a picture in here of my little gifts, my little saw assortment that I got. I got 3 saws. Can you believe it? Here, that's exactly what you get your 61-year-old grandmother. You get her saws. I got a tree saw. I got I can't remember what kind. It saws all different kind of things. My son said I could even saw a pipe with it. So real excited about that. And then I got a horn saw for my goats. Who could got the gloves, got the saws. Who could ask for more than that? So that's what I'm talking about, the difference between being cheap and being frugal. Listen to your family members. Ask others. Like my son works with my husband every day. He's more apt to maybe hear something that he might need, and do that for birthdays, for all occasions, Mother's Day, Father's Day. We do the same things. Don't get. The last thing I need is something to dust. Yeah, really. That is frugal. It won't collect dust. It is useful. Something like this is useful. Something like this is loved. It won't collect dust. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and want to start sharing more frugal tips about what we do around here. And we love you guys. Are so thankful that you're here. Keep celebrating the birth of Christ, because it was such an amazing time in history, and you know it happened, you know it was important, you don't know exactly when it was. So just because the world took everything out of the stores on December 26th doesn't mean you have to stop celebrating. And don't let them tell you, don't let the world or anybody else tell you to stop, because his birth is worth remembering. And we're praying for you guys, and you are loved. See you later.
Okay.
That hurt my hand.
Miracle?
How did you know?
Miracle. All of them! All of them!
Just... Dang, Mary. Oh, come on!
Miracle!